Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about training programs. I've heard a lot of people talk about, oh, you gotta try this program, you gotta try this program, you gotta try this program. And it doesn't matter really what your goals are, as long as your plan meets your goals. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that any program is going to get you to reach your goals, but say me, I'm a power lifter. My goal is to get maximal strength for a 1 rep max situation. So there's a certain training protocol that fits my standard. There are, literally hundreds of different training programs for powerlifting, 100 different training programs for bodybuilding, for functional fitness. If you're a CrossFitter or that style of person, a strongman, there's different programs for different training styles for each of those sections. But what I want to talk to you about is make sure you stick with a program long enough to make sure you're reaping the benefits of it, whether it's working for you or not. It's what a lot of people do, and the problem is within the fitness industry, where every month there's a new magazine with a new fitness program: 6-minute abs, 7-minute this, 7-minute that, 6 weeks to shred, 6 weeks to size. Different programs. It's not that those programs don't work, but problem is most of us are currently in a training program, and most training programs should be 6 to 12 weeks time frame. There are 4-week programs. There's people who program all the way 26 weeks and beyond, which is good. But it depends on what your goals are and all that stuff is. And if you've been in a program for 3 weeks and you're just not seeing the gains or the progress that you expected to see when you started 3 weeks ago, that doesn't mean quit that program and jump on the next bandwagon program. Give it time. Your body has to take time to adapt to different stimulus, different training methodologies. And a lot of times what we'll say is, well, this week the program doesn't have me doing what I want to be doing, or I'm not doing enough, or I feel like I'm doing too much, so I'm going to vary the training program to meet my standards. And that's kind of stupid. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, because right now I'm in the last 2 weeks of training before a powerlifting meet. I have 2 weeks, and then I have a deload week. But right now, what I was doing 2 months ago, I was squatting 3 times a week, benching twice a week, deadlifting once or twice a week, depending on what kind of time I had. Because my training cycles or training days take an hour and a half, and I only have an hour and a half. So if it's taking longer than that, I can't do some things. But right now I'm in such a low frequency of training that I'm doing 3 days of training a week: a squat day, a deadlift day, and a bench day for the 3 big lifts. And so right now, what the hardest thing is, like today was a cardio day, because I have a couple pounds I want to lose before my first meet. So guess what? I got to do cardio. Not something fun, not something I like to do, not something I enjoy, but it's something that needs to be done. And so it's part of my training protocol right now. As I was leaving the gym, I had a friend in the gym. Guess what? He was getting ready to do chest. Could have been very easily for me to say, you know what? My chest day is not until Thursday next week. I could hit some chest. But guess what? That's not what my training protocol calls for right now. My training protocol calls for me to work and rest. And resting is part of that training cycle. And so right now I need to rest, because I don't want to overtax my system too much, because then I can cause a deficit of energy come day of the meet. I was talking to somebody on Facebook this week about the same thing. He said, "You're doing too much." I said, "Well, I'm doing cardio, but my volume is really, really low, and but my intensity is up." And that's the difference. Is a lot of people say, "Well, you're doing too much," but I'm not. Intensity is defined as percentage of your 1 rep max for strength training. And so, yeah, my cardio, I may be doing interval training, which is pretty intense, but it's not part of the intensity factor. Yes, cardio does have some negative effects on strength training, but right now for me, the risk to reward ratio is better if I lose those couple pounds, because then I'll be in the proper weight class, and not with the guys who are because I want to be in the 275 weight class and not the 308 weight class. Because if I go in 308 weight class, I'm going to be going in at like 280, which means I'm, a lot lighter than a lot of the other guys in the class. Not that I couldn't compete there. I don't expect to be too competitive against the other lifters in this first coming up meet that I really got to pay attention to my weight on. Just because for me it's a fun meet, it's a testing meet and all that stuff. But back to what I was talking about is don't just jump programs because hey, this new program came out. Finish the program you're on. If it's a 12-week program, make sure you're taking accurate measurements, accurate standards that you're measuring from day one all the way through, so you're seeing the progress. Pictures. For me, for being strength, it's numbers. Beginning of my strength cycle, I was doing this X amount of much for 3 reps. Okay, well, I'm toward the end and training, openers for the meets are based off of normally around 3 rep max. Okay, so when I started my strength training program, I was doing 295 on bench for 3 reps, theoretically. I just tested my 3 rep max last week or whatever, and I hit 255 for 3 reps. So not 255, 355 for 2 reps. Guess what? That's progress. I may have not seen it during the training phase, actually, because I didn't know where I was at in that strength period. But guess what? At the end, I got the results. I may have not seen it in the middle, but I got the result at the end. People doing bodybuilding and stuff like that, they should see results quicker and faster because if they're following their programs, they should be seeing, body shape changes, body fat losses, stuff like that. Whereas in the strength game, sometimes it takes a little bit before you go and you actually test out where you're at again. Some programs have you testing that every week or every other week or every 3 weeks, So it's all depends on your program. But my whole point is make sure you're sticking to the program you're on, because that is where you're going to see progress, is in the consistency of the program. It's like, you watch TV for every average, ordinary people, and you got, try this diet, try this diet, try this diet. And as you pay attention to the commercials for these diets, or reading on these diets, the consistent thing in them is eating right, or following their meal plan, which is eating right, and exercise. So if you're consistent with your eating plan and your exercise, you're going to see progress. And any training protocol, if you follow their training program with their diet and nutrition program and keep to it, you're going to see progress based on that. Some people's body respond differently than others. So one training protocol may not give you the most benefit out of that as compared to another one. For example, I follow Jim Stepani a lot because I like Jim Stepani when I was doing bodybuilding stuff. His program he has, it's called Down and Up Mass. I saw great gains on that program. But then I tried another one of his programs called Back and Forth, and I didn't see as many gains. That was also probably due to I only did part of the Back and Forth before I quit. So what I'm saying here is just be consistent in your programs and give them time to develop inside you. There's so many times where I've jumped programs, I've seen it in the past, and right now the hardest thing for me, it's not the training days, it's not the eating, because I can eat right, I haven't been, but I'm dialing it in, I'm getting closer, I'm working with what I have. And then right now the hardest thing for me is, okay, it's Sunday, I normally do squats on Sunday, or I normally do this because of the past training programs or training cycles. Right now I'm in one where Sunday's a non-lifting day, so it's either rest or do cardio, so I go and do cardio because I need to lose a couple pounds. But you're going to see progress if you stay consistent. Consistency is key. Find a program that you like, a training style you like. If you find a program and you're 3 weeks into it and the training style is just not what you want, I understand changing. But if the training program is working you hard and you're enjoying it, you may not be seeing the gains right away, but stick with it. Stick with the program, stick with the consistency. Consistency is key to getting what you want in anything in life. If you stay consistent in learning something, You're going to get better at that. You're going to be able to excel in that. I'm rambling and rambling and rambling. But like I said, I'm 3 weeks out from the first meet, November 7th. That's a USPA meet. Like I said, I'm using this for testing to see where I'm at compared to preparing for the November 22nd meet, which is a US APL. To me, the US APL is the federation that I want to be lifting in, the federation that I concern myself with more. So that's what I'm going to focus on. This first meet, like I said, it's 3 weeks out. 2 more weeks of peaking, which is heavy training. This past week I did 90%, 91%, 92% for lifts, and 90% for 2 reps, 91 for 1, 92 for 1. Coming up next week, I'm either going to do 91, 92, 93, or 92, 93, 94. I haven't decided yet. And the following week will be like 94, 95, maybe higher. What I'm doing is I'm doing singles. My training is down to being very specific, meaning I'm doing the competition lifts, and I'm following that up like deadlift day. I do my deadlifts at my competition style deadlift, and then I follow that up with light squats at about 60%. And what I'm doing there is I'm doing form and technique drills, making sure that I'm following my cues, I'm keeping my setup the same, I'm doing everything the same. Bench day, what I do is I do heavy and then I overload. I use my Mark Bell slingshot just to get some overload in and to be able to feel the heavier weights. My bench right now is really getting close to 400 pounds, and so what I want to do and what I did like last week is I got up and I made sure I had 425 on the bar, and I felt what that felt like to get that lifted off to me and hold it and actually press it with the slingshot on, which it helps me out of the bottom of the hole, and it might not necessarily be able to do that in the meet, but what I do know is I know what that heavier weight feels like. So if I do go for 400, 410, 420, whatever it is I go for in the meet, I already know what that weight feels like. It's not going to be a shock to my system. And then of course on my squat day, I do my squats, and then I do deadlifts, working on technique and form and my cues. So I'm trying to do everything the same way I want to do them in the meet. And then another new thing is I got my powerlifting belt in. It's a lever belt by Inzer. It's called a Forever belt. Felt really good with it. Better than other belts I've tried because I've always used the buckle belts, and the one that I have is just a little too small. I can hit the first notches, but I just don't like it. The lever belt feels better as I practice the next couple weeks with it. I'm sure I will get better with it. I'll get a little bit more comfortable with it, and it will help me do what I need to do and help me accomplish my goals. I know I've rambled a little bit, but like I said, it's just one of those things that I do hear a lot of people some people, I should say, not a lot of people, in the fitness industry. They will talk about their training programs, do my program, and there's a couple people that will say, hey, make sure you stick with the program long enough, be consistent, give it time to develop in that side of you. A lot of them say if you're doing a training protocol and you haven't done it for more than 3 months, then guess what? You're not given enough time. I would say, 3 months, 6 to 12 weeks. Follow a program for at least a minimum of 6 weeks. I would rather see 12 weeks to see what your body can adapt to, and make sure that you're working the program the way it's designed to work at. If there's a program that says, well, we're going to do 3 sets of 10 on bench, don't do it with a weight that you can do for 12 reps and do 3 sets of 10. You're going to see minimal progress that way. But if you're doing 3 sets of 12, the first set should be 12, the second set maybe 11, maybe 12, and the third set should be 10 or 11 reps, maybe 9 reps, depending on your rest times and all that stuff. Make sure you're pushing your bodies, make sure you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone, and being consistent. Consistency is what gets the progress done. Consistency is what gets the progress made. And that's, like I said, it's not just in the gym. That's everything in life. I've rambled for 15 minutes now. So what I'm going to say is have a good week. I'm going to talk about some other stuff next weekend. I have a couple of ideas rolling around in my head. So have a good week. Keep getting stronger. Keep focusing. Be consistent. Have a good week. Bye.